Hey friends, welcome back to another episode where I read my college life journal for the enjoyment of the internet and for my humiliation and embarrassment. When I'm reading this, I don't know what's going to happen next. I try to look ahead to make sure it's not too boring or I don't say anything very offensive, but we're going to read it and see what happens. This episode might be a lot about midterms. We're going to find out. November 6, 2011. So I studied pretty hard for my marketing midterm. That's the one I studied with that hot girl. I reviewed the study guide and all my notes from half of the semester. I was hoping the professor wouldn't screw us over and give us a test that had nothing to do with what we learned or the study guide that she gave us. I got to the test and started taking it. It was the same questions in the same order as the study guide. I zipped through the multiple choice and the true and false in like 5 minutes. Then we had 2 short answers, which took me about 10 minutes. Overall, the test only took me about 15 to 20 minutes. I had to do a double take on the test because I went back to the top to make sure it didn't say study guide. God bless the professors who give a study guide and then follow through and replicate that study guide into a test. Bless. Later that day, I finally took a management test. During the test, I asked a lot of questions just to annoy the professor because he said he wanted us to ask questions. After the test, we graded it and I ended up getting a 93. I was so happy and couldn't believe it. I also think the professor couldn't believe that I got that grade. A couple of days later, we ended up having to take another management test, and I got an 83, which is really good. So right now, on average, in that class, I have a solid B. A couple of classes before that, there was a kid in my management class that kind of fought with the professor when I wasn't there. The next time we had class, the kid started cursing at the professor, and they got in a huge fight. It was probably one of the greatest things I've ever witnessed during school. That's what college is all about, honestly. Just students thinking that they're smarter than professors, which sometimes they are. But, imagine witnessing a fight. I remember it being kind of hostile, pretty intense. And the kid almost, literally fought him. And that's that old professor I was telling you about. I think he got kicked out. I don't even know what the fight was about, but when you're 15 and there's a kid 4 years older than you trying to fight someone in their 80s, it's pretty sad, but also to a 15-year-old, you're like, bruh. It's pretty awesome too. I ended up getting a 79% on my second algebra test. I was pretty upset, but next time I'll do much better. I don't know if I keep making these promises to, myself, do better. You better do better. I keep making dumb mistakes, not putting negatives or whatever. The week after that, we had a huge snowstorm, and pretty much everyone in northern New Jersey's power went out. This was that storm around Halloween. I don't remember the name of it. I'll look it up. But everything was destroyed. There was 4 or 5 feet of snow. Power was out for a few days. Halloween got canceled. It snowed before Halloween. They had to postpone Halloween in certain towns. In my town, it got canceled. There was no trick-or-treating. It was a disaster, right? Halloween's a national holiday. How dare they? So school was canceled for me on Monday and Tuesday, but I didn't have classes on Tuesday. Don't know why I mentioned it then. Wednesday, we went back to classes, and I skipped my morning computer class for some reason. I just kind of say that. My marketing class, and luckily I didn't go because my marketing class is canceled. That was the most pointless paragraph in the history of someone writing a paragraph. In the history of people writing. So I haven't written in a while, and I decided to write a few things before the year ends. I finished my first semester of college, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I ended the semester with all A's and 1 B. My finals were not that hard, and my marking final was the same as the study guide at the midterm. Shout out to that professor. What an awesome person. They deserve Teacher of the Year, honestly. My GPA was a 3.75, which is so awesome, and I'm so happy I did so well. That girl wanted to study with me again for the marketing final, which I was really happy she asked. We have become pretty good friends, and she said she'll try and keep in touch with me through Facebook. Never happened. Sorry, young Chaz, never happened. The semester ended, and that was that. I'm sorry to disappoint all my viewers out there. Nothing happened. But we're still friends on Facebook. And that's all that matters. We didn't even stay that long because I was showing her pictures of my new puppy. Yeah, I got another dog. A couple weeks before Christmas, we went to a puppy store. We were just looking, but ended up falling in love with an English bulldog. She is so cute. And my mom was begging for her for days. After we came home from the store, my mom spent days doodling the name Lovey, which we ended up naming the dog. She would write it L-Heart V-E-Y, L-O-V-E-Y, L-Heart V-E-Y, L-Heart V-E-Y, over and over and over again. You know how young girls like doodle the name of their crushes in their binders? That was my mom, but for a dog. My dad finally gave in. A couple days later, we went back and got her. Her name is Lovey because she just loves everybody and everything. Right now, she's a little crazy hyper, and my other old dog doesn't really like that very much since he can't move around as fast as she can. But they're becoming friends, and I really wanted a bulldog. She comes up and cuddles with me on bed sometimes, which I like. Did any of you ever watch Robin Big with Rob Dyrdek, the skateboarder, and he had a bulldog, Meaty? Ever since I saw that show as a kid, I wanted a bulldog, and dreams come true. If you imagine it and you think about it, they come true. Happy New Year! I think that's enough for this episode. If you like what you're seeing and you think it's funny, press that like button and also subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, press the notification bell right next to that subscribe button so you know the next time I upload a video. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links to my social media are in the description below. Sometimes I post awesome pictures. Sometimes I tweet something funny. You should follow me on Twitter so that someone actually, follows me on Twitter. Because I have no followers. I think that's the joke. Yeah. Alright. Anyways, be different. Live a trail. I see you.